Hello, everyone. My name is Bree Coxville. I am a student in the Dangerous Ideas with the Application of the First Amendment at my university. This is my reflection piece slash research for the semester. The topic of my choosing is the First Amendment and the application of religion in the modern day. Introduction. My main question of research is how does religion and the First Amendment work together in the present day? My reason for choosing this is it's been about 200 to 300 years since the founding fathers wrote the First Amendment and the Constitution. Religion has taken on somewhat, in a way, a whole new meaning in the modern day. There's a lot more religions around than there's ever used to be, and exercising those religious rights look different than what they did back then when the founding fathers wrote the First Amendment. And in the new day, the First Amendment is the most recognized amendment among Americans. It's very probable, and we understand our rights in that First Amendment, but sometimes it's pretty vague of what it means. And so I want to dive in deeper of religion and the First Amendment. I'll take you through three discussion points and some key takeaways from my research. Discussion point one, religion in the First Amendment. As you know, religion is a fundamental part of the First Amendment. A great amount of space is taken up for that clause or two clauses in some people's opinions. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the exercise thereof. One of my sources, the title being Back to the Sources by author Whitty, goes and breaks down what this clause means word by word. First, starting off with the word Congress. This is very bold. It's outright, the founding fathers made it clear to highlight Congress. Now, the word Congress was utilized to highlight the most powerful, in the founding fathers' eyes, the most dangerous branch of government. So, right off the bat, is pretty defined. Next part shall make no law. This is also a very distinctive phrase that is written in the future tense. This strongly highlights and suggests no law shall go against the freedom of religion in the future or the present day. Now, going on to respecting establishment of religion. The word establishment in the founding fathers' terms means to settle firmly, to ratify, to enact, or to set up. This allowed for the president to be based that Congress cannot and shall not settle, fix, define, ordain, enact, or set up the nation's religious practices in terms of doctrines, clergy, or property. This has been done because of what occurred in Britain and in England with Parliament of having a national religion. Now, when you look at the word respecting, this is a little bit of a different story, and it's something I found interesting. The word respecting gives light to a new meaning of the First Amendment. This word appeared nowhere in the first 25 drafts of the First Amendment, and it appeared out of thin air. This word's definition means to look at, to regard, to consider, pay attention to, but it also meant to expect, anticipate, and look toward. There are several interpretations of this phrase, yet the author provides an interesting perspective. Congress can touch religion as long as it did so in a way that did not prefer one religious sanction or society above another. Congress must respect religion. Now, we went over and established a religion. I'll move on to the one word, or. There's a lot of controversy over this, so I won't spend a ton of time, but I encourage you to look it up. Or can either intend two things in some people's eyes. It can be separating two separate clauses. It can be making a difference between Congress and exercising religion. Or it can be also showing that there's more than one thing when it comes to religion, and it's just that important to mention, not once, but twice. Now, the final phrase prohibiting the exercise thereof, I won't spend a ton of time on this, but once again, Congress cannot prohibit the free exercise of religion. And this is for people's rights. And being in a democracy, it really goes to show that the founding fathers wanted that free exercise for all Americans of whatever religion they prefer. Discussion point two. What does it mean to exercise religious rights? I have three current court cases here that have a different viewpoint on what it means to exercise religious rights or when someone believes their religious rights are being impeded upon. Now, the Masterpiece Cake Shop versus Colorado Civil Rights Commission happened a couple years ago. Essentially, what happened in this case, a cake maker refused to make a cake for a same-sex couple's wedding. And the cake maker's defiance of resisting making this cake for the couple, he defied a Colorado civil rights law that required him to do so. Now, this, in his belief, revoked his religious rights. And that's when the court case came to light. And when you apply this back to religion, it's his exercise of rights to not provide business to something he does not believe in based off of his religion. And that's when the court case came up. And because of that law in Colorado of civil rights, it ended up moving up to the Supreme Court. This next one, the Church of Lukima Bablae versus the city of Hialeah, is another interesting court case. I'll describe it very briefly. But the question is whether or not a city can constitutionally target animal sacrifices that are part of religious rituals in association with Soteria. Soteria were not allowed to kill chickens as part of any animal sacrifices. However, others in the city were allowed to kill chickens for other reasons outside of religious animal sacrifices. And some people in the law world will understand this as the KFC exception. I won't go into this completely, but there was a lot of talk about, does this provide, like, because it is religious, as a religious right, should they be able to exercise animal sacrifices as it is a part of their religious beliefs? I'll let you decide that one. Now, the St. Augustine School versus Evers occurred in Wisconsin over a busing incident is a good way to put it. The school applied for busing at the state level to bring students into the school, and there was a statute in the state of Wisconsin that only allowed for one private school with a certain denomination to receive funding. And because of this, that's where St. Augustine School took Evers to court. This statute in Wisconsin, has found to be quite outdated, and it is now time for legislators to write the grounds of the statute according to the author of this source. And in the process, they recommend removing the word religious to allow for more religious exercise and avoid evolving government with religion on matters such as this. And there's more cases out there similar to these ones, different about religious rights. And these are just some in the modern day. And we'll go back to this about the key takeaways. Now, I like this quote here before we move on. The free exercise of religion, then, seems to involve a right to practice one's religion and to express it, to pray, to celebrate, to worship, and to indulge whatever ceremonies and rites one seems fit to indulge. And there's a source I got this from. I think it's quite interesting because sometimes religious exercises are taken quite out of context. But once again, what is the bound of religious exercises? It was never defined in the First Amendment. Discussion point 3. Religion is changing. Religion is on the decline. And what does this mean for the future of the First Amendment when it comes to exercising religious rights? The reason why I brought this up is looking at some statistics from my one source. Only about 25% of Americans attend religious services on a weekly basis. And about 50% of Americans pray on the daily. And this is way down than what it has been in the past. And the founding fathers probably could have not foresighted this, that religion was going to be on the decline in the United States. Some believe it's because of the political influences that religion is a part of. You see religion a lot on the news and politics, and they believe some of that results in younger generations not want to be part of religious activities because it is controversial in some people's eyes. And because of that, I question and I ask you, what does this mean for the future when it comes to exercising the rights of religion as an American citizen? Is it going to be pushed to the wayside while other ones like speech and assembly are more prioritized? Or will we see less bias when it comes to religion? Will more be accepted? Lots of interesting thoughts. In conclusion, here are some key takeaways. Religion plays an influential role in the modern day, even if it is on the decline. A lot of people still believe in religion. There's a lot of institutions, nonprofits that are based on religious ideologies. It still plays an influential role. And a lot of voters even look to religion as a deciding factor. Nonetheless, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. The way people are exercising their religious rights is changing over time. Obviously, rights are spelt wrong there, but it's changing. And there's different religions that are coming to play, like Scientology, um, and other ones are coming out, and the way they exercise those rights are very different. I like to leave you with this one quote. Congress may not establish or prescribe religion, nor may Congress prohibit or prescribe religion. Nothing more, nothing less. With that being said, this is the end of my presentation, and here are my 5 sources I used to gain my research. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please let me know.